Hello, everyone. I'm James, and welcome to another chilling tale that will leave you questioning everything you think you know. Picture this: a small town nestled in the heart of a brutal winter. Snow blankets the ground, and the air is so cold it bites your lungs. In this quiet corner of the world, something unthinkable has happened. A body, frozen, lifeless, trapped beneath the ice of Lake Mirren, was discovered just days ago. And the story, oh, it's far darker than you could ever imagine. It was a Sunday morning, the kind where the world feels still, almost too quiet. A group of teenagers daring each other to skate on the frozen lake noticed something strange. At first, they thought it was a shadow, a trick of the light, but as they crept closer, their laughter turned to screams. There, beneath the thick, glassy ice, was a human figure, pale and motionless, staring up at them with unseeing eyes. My God, can you imagine the terror? The police were called, and the town of Willow Creek descended into chaos. Divers braved the freezing water to retrieve the body, their faces grim as they worked. Word spread like wildfire. The victim was Emily Harper, a 28-year-old schoolteacher loved by everyone. Emily, with her warm smile and kind heart, was the last person anyone expected to meet such a gruesome end. But here's the question that haunts me: how did she end up under that ice? Was it an accident, suicide, or something far more sinister? The scene was a nightmare. The lake surrounded by snow-dusted pines looked like a postcard until you saw the cracked ice and the police tape. Officers whispered about the body's condition. No visible wounds, but the cold had preserved her almost perfectly. Too perfectly, some said. And then there was the missing phone. Emily was never without her phone, yet it was nowhere to be found. Why? What was someone trying to hide? As the town mourned, rumors swirled. Emily had no enemies, or so they thought. She was the golden girl, the one who baked cookies for her students and volunteered at the shelter. But no one's life is that perfect, is it? There's always something or someone lurking in the shadows. And here's where it gets insane. 2 days after her body was found, a message came from Emily's phone, a desperate plea for help. How is that even possible? I know what you're thinking. This can't be real. A body under the ice, a message from the grave. It's the kind of story that keeps you up at night wondering what's true and what's not. But trust me, we're just getting started. This case is a maze of secrets, lies, and a truth so shocking it'll make your blood run cold. Stick with me, because in Willow Creek, nothing is what it seems. What would you do if you found a body under the ice? Would you dare to dig deeper? Let's find out together. We're back at Lake Mirren, where a body believed to be Emily Harper's lies frozen beneath the ice. The discovery shook Willow Creek to its core, but that message, a desperate plea for help, sent 2 days later, turned this tragedy into a nightmare. My God, how does a dead woman send a text? To understand this impossible case, we need to know who Emily Harper was, because behind her perfect life, there were secrets that might explain why she ended up under that ice. Or did she? Emily Harper was Willow Creek's pride. At 28, she taught third grade at Willow Elementary, a beacon of warmth in a cold town. Picture her chestnut hair in a messy bun, eyes that lit up when she laughed, and a smile that felt like a hug. Parents trusted her with their kids. Students adored her, fighting to sit near her during story time. Her classroom was alive, walls covered in bright posters, shelves stuffed with books and notes from kids saying, "You're the best." Miss Harper, she'd stay late tutoring anyone who needed help, her patience endless. But was her life as perfect as it seemed? Or was something dark simmering beneath the surface? Raised in Willow Creek, Emily was the daughter of Tom and Linda Harper, who ran a small hardware store. She was their golden child smart kind, the girl who could do no wrong. Growing up, she was the star of every school play, the captain of the debate team, the one everyone expected to go far. But even golden girls have shadows. Lately, Emily wasn't herself. Friends noticed she was distracted. Her usual glow dimmed. She'd skip dinners, dodge questions, and check her phone constantly like it held answers she couldn't share. What was she afraid of? Rumors started to swirl. Some said Emily had been fighting with a man, maybe a boyfriend, maybe someone closer. Witnesses saw her at a local diner, her voice sharp, her face tense. Others noticed her asking for money, which was odd. Emily had a steady job, a tidy apartment. Why would she need a loan? Was she in trouble, hiding from someone, or caught in something she couldn't escape? The questions keep piling up, don't they? Her inner circle only deepened the mystery. Mark, her on-again, off-again boyfriend, was a mechanic with a charming smile and a quick temper. They'd been spotted arguing their words, cutting through the hum of the diner. Lisa, her best friend and fellow teacher, seemed to know something, but stayed quiet, her eyes avoiding questions. Then there was a stranger, a woman seen with Emily weeks before the body was found. They'd been whispering their conversation heated. Who was she? A friend, a threat. And that phone, Emily was never without it, texting, scrolling, always connected. Yet when police searched the lake, her apartment, her car, it was gone, vanished. Someone took it. And I can't shake the feeling they're hiding something massive. Why would you take a dead woman's phone? What were they afraid she'd reveal? But let's talk about that message again. 2 days after Emily's body was found, her phone sent a text, "Help me, please." My heart stops just thinking about it. How could she send that? Was it a glitch? A cruel prank? Or, God forbid, was Emily still out there alive, begging for rescue? The police were baffled. The town was terrified. And then a whisper of a clue changed everything. Here's where it gets insane. Emily had a twin sister. A twin. Her name was Sarah Harper, and she was her sister's mirror image. Same face, same eyes, same everything. But Sarah was no golden girl. She was the rebel, the one who left Willow Creek years ago, chasing a life of chaos. Drugs, bad company, broken dreams. Sarah's story was the opposite of Emily's, and she'd come back to town weeks before the body was found, looking so much like Emily it fooled everyone. Wait, could it be? Was the body under the ice, not Emily at all? Willow Creek mourned Emily as their own, but the more we learn, the less we know. Her life had cracks, secrets. She kept people she feared, and now, a twin sister who might hold the key to this nightmare. What's it like to have a mirror image out there, living a life so different from yours? That message wasn't just a clue, it was a scream. We're getting closer to the truth, and it's going to turn everything you believe upside down. The ice on Lake Mirren holds its secrets tight, but the truth is starting to crack. We've seen the body, thought to be Emily Harper's, pulled from beneath the frozen surface, and we've learned about her life perfect on the outside, but fractured within. That message, a plea for help sent 2 days after her body was found, has turned Willow Creek into a town of whispers and fear. How could this happen? Who was behind it? Today, we follow the police as they dive into one of the strangest cases they've ever faced. Buckle up, because this investigation is about to take us somewhere unthinkable. The morning after the discovery, Willow Creek's small police station was a hive of chaos. Officers scrambled phones, rang off the hook, and reporters camped outside, desperate for answers. Leading the charge was Detective Rachel Kane, a sharp, no-nonsense investigator with a reputation for cracking tough cases. Picture her mid-40s, dark hair, pulled back, eyes that miss nothing. Rachel had seen her share of tragedies, but this, a body under the ice, and a message from the grave. Even she admitted it gave her chills. This isn't just a case, she told her team. It's a puzzle, and we're missing half the pieces. The crime scene was a nightmare. Lake Mirren, surrounded by snow-heavy pines, was both beautiful and brutal. The ice, nearly a foot thick, had to be carefully cut to retrieve the body, and every move risked destroying evidence. Divers worked in freezing water, their breath clouding in the air. The body, pale, eerily preserved, was brought to shore, and the coroner's initial report raised more questions than answers. No obvious wounds, no signs of a struggle. The cold had frozen the body, solid, making it hard to pinpoint the time of death. Was it days ago? Weeks? The ice was a vault locking away the truth. Early theories swirled. Could it have been an accident? Maybe Emily slipped through a crack in the ice, trapped as the water refroze. But Rachel wasn't convinced. The lake was a known danger. Locals avoided it in winter. Suicide was another possibility, but Emily's life on the surface seemed too full, too vibrant. Murder felt more likely, but who would want her dead? She was the town's sweetheart, wasn't she? Or had someone seen a side of Emily no one else knew? The police turned to her inner circle. Mark, her volatile boyfriend, was first on the list. He claimed he hadn't seen Emily in days, but his story was shaky. We had a fight, he admitted, avoiding Rachel's gaze. But I'd never hurt her. Never. His temper was no secret, though. Neighbors recalled hearing shouts from his apartment, and that diner argument was still fresh in everyone's minds. Then there was Lisa, Emily's best friend. She was cooperative but guarded, her answers clipped. Emily was stressed, Lisa said. She didn't tell me why. Rachel sensed Lisa was holding back. Why? A new figure emerged, Daniel Reed, a colleague at Willow Elementary. Daniel was quiet, unassuming, the kind of guy who blended into the background. But students mentioned he'd been close to Emily, maybe too close. They'd been seen talking late after school, their heads bent together. Was it just work or something more? Daniel was nervous when questioned, his hands fidgeting. We were friends, he insisted. That's all. Rachel marked him as someone to watch. Something about his unease didn't sit right. Forensics offered little help. The body's condition made DNA testing slow, and the lack of physical evidence, no blood, no weapons, frustrated the team. Emily's missing phone was a glaring problem. It wasn't at the lake, her apartment, or her car. Someone had it, and Rachel was sure it held the key to this case. Find that phone, she told her team, and we find our answers. The town was unraveling. Grief for Emily mixed with fear. People locked their doors, whispered about a killer among them. Social media exploded with theories, a random attack, a jealous lover, even a serial killer passing through. Rachel ignored the noise, focusing on facts. But facts were scarce, and the pressure was mounting. How do you solve a case when the victim seems to be reaching out from beyond? Then came the bombshell. 2 days after the body was found, Emily's phone pinged a message to Lisa. Help me. Please, I'm scared. Rachel's blood ran cold. This can't be real, she muttered, staring at the screen. The message was traced to a tower on the edge of town, but the phone's location was off, untraceable. Was it a hacker? A sick joke? Or, God help them, was Emily alive? The team scrambled to analyze the data, but every lead hit a dead end. Rachel called a meeting. We're missing something, she said, her voice tight. This message changes everything. Her team nodded, but doubt crept in. Could they trust their own evidence? The coroner swore the body was Emily's based on clothing and build, but that text, it was a ghost in the machine taunting them. Rachel couldn't shake the feeling that the answer was staring them in the face, hidden in plain sight. And then a faint clue. A witness, an old man fishing near the lake, mentioned seeing a woman who looked like Emily days before the body was found. She was acting strange, he said, nervous, looking over her shoulder. Rachel's pulse quickened. Was it Emily? Or someone else? The investigation was about to take a turn no one saw coming. This case is a maze, and every step pulls us deeper. Who sent that message? Why was Emily's phone gone, and what did Daniel Reed know that he wasn't saying? The truth is out there, but it's buried under layers of lies. My heart's racing just thinking about it. This isn't just a murder investigation. It's something bigger. Something that'll make your skin crawl. The ice on Lake Mirren has cracked, but the mystery only deepens. A body believed to be Emily Harper's lies in the morgue. Yet a message from her phone sent 2 days after her discovery has turned this case into a chilling enigma. Help me, please, I'm scared. Those words haunt Willow Creek, echoing through every conversation, every sleepless night. How could a dead woman send a text? Was it a cruel trick? a glitch, or something far darker? Today we chase the impossible, following Detective Rachel Kane as she grapples with a truth that defies logic. This is where things get wild. Rachel Kane stared at the message on her screen, her pulse racing. "This changes everything," she whispered. The police station was a storm of activity officers analyzing data phones, ringing reporters, clamoring outside. The text sent to Emily's friend Lisa was no hoax. It came from Emily's number traced to a cell tower on the edge of Willow Creek. But the phone's GPS was off its location, a black hole. Rachel's team worked around the clock, pinging towers, scouring records, but every lead evaporated. "It's like chasing a ghost," one officer muttered. "My God, can you imagine the frustration?" The town was unraveling. Grief for Emily had morphed into panic. Social media exploded with wild theories Emily was alive, kidnapped, or part of some twisted game. Others swore it was supernatural, a message from beyond. "She's trying to tell us something," one neighbor posted, sparking thousands of likes. Rachel ignored the hysteria, but the pressure was crushing. The public wanted answers, and the media painted her as a detective out of her depth. "We're doing everything we can," she told a reporter, her voice tight. But were they? The message wasn't the only curveball. A grainy CCTV clip surfaced from a gas station 10 miles from Willow Creek, time-stamped the day after the body was found. It showed a woman, same build, same chestnut hair, buying a coffee. Her face was partially obscured, but the clerk swore she looked like Emily. She was nervous, he said, kept looking outside like someone was following her. Rachel watched the footage on loop, her stomach churning. Was this Emily? If so, whose body was under the ice? The coroner insisted the body matched Emily's description. Clothing, height, hair. But doubts crept in. What were they missing? Rachel doubled down on Emily's inner circle. Mark, the boyfriend, was brought in again. His alibi for the night of the discovery was flimsy, a solo drive to clear his head. "I didn't send that text," he snapped, sweat beading on his forehead. Rachel didn't buy it. His temper, his fights with Emily, it all pointed to guilt. But why keep her phone? What was he hiding? Lisa, Emily's friend, was no better. She admitted receiving the message, but claimed she was too shocked to respond. "I thought it was a mistake," she said, her eyes darting away. Rachel sensed fear in her voice. Fear of what? Daniel Reed, the colleague, was another puzzle. He'd been dodging calls, and when Rachel cornered him, he was a mess. "I don't know anything," he stammered, his hands shaking. But students had seen him with Emily, their conversations intense, almost secretive. Was he in love with her, jealous of Mark, or involved in something darker? Rachel ordered a tail on him, convinced he was holding back. Forensics offered a sliver of hope. A partial fingerprint on Emily's car door didn't match her, Mark, or Lisa. It was faint, untraceable in the database, but it proved someone else had been close to her. The phone remained the key. Rachel's team worked with tech experts, trying to crack its digital trail. "Whoever has it is smart," a tech said. "They're covering their tracks." Rachel's mind raced. Was this a calculated plan? A killer taunting them, or dare she think it was Emily out there alive and terrified? The town's fear fed the chaos. A vigil for Emily drew hundreds, their candles flickering in the snow. But whispers turned to shouts. "She's not dead," a woman cried, holding a photo of Emily. Others demanded the police search the woods, convinced she was hiding. Rachel felt the weight of their desperation. Every dead end was a betrayal, every unanswered question a failure. How do you solve a case when the victim might not be a victim? Then another clue. A hiker found a scarf near the lake, half buried in snow. It was Emily's, monogrammed with her initials, a gift from her mother. But it wasn't at the crime scene days earlier. Had someone dropped it later, Rachel sent it for testing, hoping for DNA fibers, anything. This could break the case, she told her team, though doubt gnawed at her. The scarf, the CCTV, the message, it was too much, too strange. And then a whisper of something bigger. An old friend of Emily's, reluctant to speak, mentioned a woman who'd been seen with her weeks before the discovery. She looked like Emily, the friend said. I thought it was her at first, but something was off. Rachel's heart skipped. Doppelganger? A relative? She pressed for details, but the friend clammed up, scared. Rachel couldn't shake the feeling that this woman was the key someone tied to Emily's secrets. This case is a house of mirrors reflecting lies and half-truths. Was Emily alive, running from danger, or was someone using her phone to toy with the town? The CCTV woman, the scarf, the mysterious look-alike, who are they pointing to? My blood's racing just thinking about it. We're on the edge of something massive, something that'll make you question everything. The truth is close, but it's slippery, and it's going to hit like a freight train. The mystery of Lake Mirren is a house of mirrors, each reflection more distorted than the last. A body, thought to be Emily Harper's, lies in the morgue, but a message from her phone sent 2 days later has shattered every assumption. The CCTV footage, the scarf, the look-alike woman, they're pieces of a puzzle that don't fit. Detective Rachel Kane is chasing shadows, but now the shadows are starting to speak. Today we uncover a secret so shocking it'll make your heart stop. This isn't just a case anymore. It's a reckoning. Rachel Kane was exhausted, her eyes burning from sleepless nights. The police station buzzed with tension, her team stretched thin. The message, "Help me, please." "I'm scared," was a taunt, a riddle they couldn't solve. Every lead fizzled out. The phone's signal was a dead end, the CCTV woman a ghost. But Rachel's gut screamed that the truth was close hidden in Emily's life. "Dig deeper," she told her team. "There's something we're not seeing." And oh, how right she was. The breakthrough came from Emily's digital footprint. Tech experts recovered deleted texts from her cloud account, and what they found was a bombshell. Messages from an unknown number sent weeks before the body was found begged Emily for help. "I'm in trouble. I need you." The tone was desperate, personal. Rachel's team traced the number to a burner phone, but the texts hinted at someone close, someone Emily knew intimately. Who was reaching out? And why had Emily deleted these cries for help? Interviews with Emily's friends cracked the case wide open. Lisa, her best friend, finally broke under pressure. "There's something you need to know," she said, her voice trembling. "Emily had a sister, a twin sister." Rachel's jaw dropped. "A twin?" Lisa explained Sarah Harper, Emily's identical twin, had been estranged for years. "They were like day and night," Lisa said. Emily was perfect. Sarah was broken. Sarah had left Willow Creek a decade ago, spiraling into addiction and chaos, but she'd come back desperate, reaching out to Emily. My God, can you imagine the shock? The pieces started falling into place. That look-alike woman seen with Emily, it was Sarah. The old friend who'd mentioned her had been too scared to say more, but Rachel pressed harder. Sarah was in trouble, the friend admitted. She owed money to bad people. Emily was trying to help her. The scarf found near the lake. It was Emily's, but Sarah had been wearing it. Rachel's mind raced. Was Sarah involved in Emily's death? Or was there something even darker at play? Forensics delivered the knockout blow. The DNA results from the body came back, and Rachel could barely breathe as she read them. The body under the ice wasn't Emily Harper. It was Sarah Harper. Identical twins share DNA, but subtle markers, Scar's dental records confirmed it. Sarah had a small tattoo on her ankle, a detail Emily didn't have. The coroner had missed it, blinded by the assumption it was Emily. Rachel slammed her fist on the desk. "We've been chasing the wrong victim!" she shouted. The room fell silent. This changed everything. If Sarah was dead, where was Emily? Was she the one sending the message, hiding in fear, or was someone using her phone to manipulate the investigation? Rachel's team scrambled to re-examine the evidence. The CCTV footage now made sense. The woman at the gas station could be Emily, alive, running. But from who, and why hadn't she come forward? Rachel turned her focus to the suspects. Mark, the boyfriend, had a motive to hurt Emily. Their fights were volatile, and he'd been evasive. But did he know about Sarah? Could he have mistaken her for Emily? In a rage, Lisa's secrecy was another red flag. She'd known about Sarah, but stayed quiet. Why? Was she protecting Emily or hiding her own involvement? Daniel Reed, the colleague, was still a wild card. His nervous behavior and close connection to Emily raised suspicions. Had he crossed paths with Sarah thinking she was her sister? A new lead emerged from Sarah's past. A contact in the city police shared records Sarah had been mixed up with a loan shark, a man named Victor Crane. She owed him thousands, and he wasn't the forgiving type. Had Victor come to Willow Creek targeting Sarah? Or had he mistaken her for Emily, chasing the wrong twin? Rachel sent officers to track Victor down, but he'd vanished, his last known address a dead end. The town was a powder keg. News of the twin revelation hadn't leaked yet, but the vigil for Emily had turned frantic, with people demanding answers. Rachel kept the DNA results under wraps, knowing the chaos it would unleash. She needed to find Emily alive or dead before the truth exploded. Every hour felt like a ticking bomb. Then another twist. A second message from Emily's phone, this one to Mark. "I'm sorry, I didn't mean for this to happen." It was sent hours ago from a new location still untraceable. Rachel's heart pounded. Emily was out there alive and she was terrified. But why apologize? What had she done? The message felt like a confession, a plea, a warning. Rachel ordered her team to widen the search, combing the woods, abandoned buildings, anywhere Emily might hide. This case is no longer about a body under the ice. It's about a mistake, a tragedy, and a woman running for her life. Sarah's death was a brutal error, but who made it Victor? The lone shark Mark in a jealous rage, or someone closer, someone who knew the twins' secret. My blood's pounding just thinking about it. The truth is clawing its way out, and it's going to tear Willow Creek apart. But here's the question that keeps me up. Where is Emily now? Is she hiding, watching, waiting, or is she already in the hands of the killer who got the wrong twin? We're on the brink of a revelation, and it's going to hit like a thunderbolt. The truth about Lake Mirren is clawing its way out, and it's uglier than anyone imagined. Sarah Harper, not Emily, lies dead under the ice, a tragic mistake that has shattered Willow Creek. Emily is alive, hiding her desperate messages, a cry for survival. But who killed Sarah? Why and where is Emily now? Detective Rachel Kane is closing in, and today we reconstruct the chilling events that led to this nightmare. Brace yourself, this truth will hit you like a sledgehammer. Rachel Kane's investigation had reached a boiling point. The DNA confirmed Sarah's death, and Emily's messages, "Help me, and I'm sorry," proved she was out there terrified. Rachel's team combed every inch of Willow Creek, from abandoned barns to dense woods, searching for her. The second message sent to Mark was traced to a new cell tower closer to town. "She's here," Rachel told her team, her voice fierce. "We find her. We find the killer. My God, the stakes couldn't be higher." The key was Victor Crane, the loan shark Sarah owed thousands to. Rachel's contacts in the city tracked him to a rundown motel just outside Willow Creek. When officers stormed in, Victor was packing a bag ready to flee. Under interrogation, he cracked. "I didn't mean to kill her," he sobbed. "I thought it was the other one." Rachel's blood ran cold. Victor had come for Sarah, chasing her debt. But in the dark by Lake Mirren, he saw a woman in Emily's scarf, a gift Sarah had borrowed. He didn't know about the twin. Here's how it went down. Sarah had begged Emily for help, drowning in debt to Victor. Emily, torn between love and fear, gave her money and the scarf, urging her to leave town. But Sarah stayed, hoping to negotiate. On that fateful night, Victor followed her to the lake. It was late, the air biting. Sarah, wrapped in the scarf, looked like Emily from a distance. Victor confronted her, demanding payment. When she couldn't pay, his rage exploded. He struck her a single blow to the head, and she fell lifeless. Panicking, he pushed her body under the ice, where a thin patch had cracked, letting it sink. Victor didn't stop there. He found Sarah's phone and ditched it, but he also took Emily's phone, which Sarah had been holding. Emily had lent it to her for safety. Victor used it to send the first message, hoping to throw off suspicion, making it seem Emily was alive. The second message, that was Emily herself. She'd been hiding in an old cabin, terrified Victor was still hunting her. The I'm sorry was for Sarah. She blamed herself for not doing more to save her twin. Rachel pieced it together with forensic evidence. The partial fingerprint on Emily's car matched Victor's left when he rummaged through it, looking for cash. The scarf held traces of Sarah's blood, confirming the blow. Victor's confession sealed it. He'd mistaken Sarah for Emily, thinking she was dodging his debt. His plan was sloppy, driven by panic, not precision. But it had worked until Emily's messages blew it apart. The search for Emily was relentless. Rachel's team followed the cell tower ping to a wooded area near town. In a dilapidated cabin, they found her emaciated, trembling, but alive. Emily collapsed into Rachel's arms, sobbing. "I thought he'd find me," she whispered. "I couldn't save her." The reunion with her parents was gut-wrenching. Tom and Linda Harper clung to Emily, their joy tainted by grief for Sarah. Willow Creek, still reeling, gathered to welcome Emily home, but the scars of this tragedy ran deep. Sarah's death was a brutal error, a life stolen by greed and confusion. Victor was charged with murder, his fate sealed by his own words, but the emotional toll lingered. Emily, racked with guilt, vowed to honor Sarah's memory, to rebuild what was left of her life. "She was my other half," Emily said at a memorial, her voice breaking. "I'll carry her with me always. Can you feel the weight of that loss?" Rachel, too, was changed. She'd solved the case, but the cost was heavy. "No one wins here," she told her team, her eyes distant. The town mourned Sarah, a woman they'd barely known, whose troubled life ended in a mistake. The ice on Lake Mirren had hidden the truth, but it couldn't bury it forever. This case is a wound that won't heal. A twin mistaken for her sister, a killer who didn't care, a survivor haunted by guilt. What would you do if your face could cost you your life, if your sister's choices became your death sentence? My heart aches for Emily, for Sarah, for a town that'll never be the same. The truth is out, but it's a bitter pill. Victor's behind bars. Emily's alive, but Sarah's gone. And that's the kind of ending that stays with you forever. The ice on Lake Mirren has melted, but the scars of this case will linger forever. Sarah Harper's death, a brutal mistake, tore through Willow Creek, leaving Emily alive, but haunted by guilt. Victor Crane, the man who killed the wrong twin, sits behind bars, but no sentence can undo the tragedy. We've walked through this maze of lies, secrets, and heartbreak, and now it's time to step back and ask, what does it all mean? This isn't just a story. It's a mirror reflecting the fragility of trust, identity, and love. Think about it. Two sisters, bound by blood, divided by choices. Sarah, lost in a world of chaos, reached for Emily, her anchor. Emily, the golden girl, tried to save her, but fate had other plans. A scarf, a moment of confusion, and a killer's greed stole Sarah's life. Can you imagine the weight Emily carries? Knowing her face, her identity cost her twin everything. It's the kind of pain that doesn't fade, the kind that reshapes you. My heart breaks for them both, one gone, one left to pick up the pieces. This case forces us to confront uncomfortable truths. How well do we know the people we love? Could a single mistake, wearing the wrong scarf, standing in the wrong place, rewrite your story? Willow Creek thought they knew Emily, but they didn't see her struggles, her fears, or the sister she tried to protect. And Sarah, judged forgotten, was more than her mistakes. She was a daughter, a sister, a life worth saving. My God, doesn't that hit you hard? What would you do if you had to hide to survive? If every glance in the mirror reminded you of someone you lost? Emily's story is a warning. Our choices, our secrets ripple outward, touching lives in ways we can't predict. Maybe it's a call to hold your loved ones closer, to listen before it's too late. Because in a split second, everything can change. Willow Creek will never be the same. The lake, once a place of beauty, is now a reminder of loss. Emily's return brought relief, but the town mourns Sarah. A woman they barely knew, this case exposed their cracks, grief, fear, the fragility of community. But it also showed their strength, their ability to come together to heal. That's the human spirit, isn't it? Even in darkness, we find light. Thank you for walking this journey with me. Cases like this, they stay with you. They change you. If this story moved you, hit that subscribe button, give it a like, and share it with someone who needs to hear it. Your comments mean the world. Tell me what hit you hardest. What would you have done in Emily's shoes? Let's keep this conversation alive. As we leave Lake Mirren behind, one question lingers. Could this happen in your town? Could a single mistake unravel everything, you know? Think about it. Stay safe, stay curious, and I'll see you in the next story. Until then, this is James signing off.